What's up? Black men must show love to other black men to have a brotherly bond. Now, if there's any black man out there who's trying to self-improve, who's trying to get better with their relationships in life, trying to build the right relationships, trying to come together with other black men in a communal sense, so where we can help the whole black community, but not only that, but as an individual, improving with finances, becoming more financially literate, eating healthier, working out more, and overall learning and having a grounded black identity, learning about black history and who to look up to in black history. If you're a black man out there and you're interested in those things, I have a guide, a deep dive guide I've made on all of those things. If you want to increase yourself in those ways, the link for that will be in the comments of this video, the description of this video, and if you click on my channel in the bio section, you'll see the link for that. So click on that, check that out. Okay, black men really underestimate their relationships with other black men, and I believe we have a dysfunctional view of masculinity. We have many views of masculinity, and very few of them actually fall into the category of actually being masculine. But I want to kind of dive deep on what makes a man feel like a man and have that identity and that masculinity. And one view we have of masculinity is be super stoic, don't show your emotions, don't try to connect with anybody like that. And I think that that's one of the things that is hurting us, and not in the cliche ways you may think, but like what a girl would probably say. I'm saying you should open up and you should be able to be yourself around other men, because one thing I've seen even in my own life through having a father who was emotionally absent, growing up, you need men you can emotionally connect with so they can show you how to be a man, show you how to be strong, and y'all can have that connection with each other where, okay, it's another man out there and we're connected to each other, and we have that brotherly bond, or we have that father and son bond, and I feel like a man. And it's really that connection with other men that make you feel more like a man. It's that connection. And I think that, it's a lot of other better ways that I could say this, but to sum everything up really when it comes to your connection with other men and how that ties into your masculinity, when you are out there in the world and you don't really know how to identify yourself, a lot of the times, a lot of dudes who you see connect with each other, they play basketball together, or they do a lot of sports together, they hang out all the time, it's because they all feel the same in a sense. They all feel like similar to each other in a sense. When you have a guy who don't really have friends or connection with other men, he doesn't know how to really view himself or identify himself like, okay, am I a man? Am I like these other men? Am I accepted by other men? And I think that doesn't come from the guy, something actually being wrong with the guy feeling that way. It stems from other men saying, oh, I can't connect with this dude because that's too much, and I can't show my emotions, and I can't use my emotions. And I would say it's deeper than even just emotions. It's just about being able to connect with other men so y'all can have that connection and that bond. And that's an aspect of masculinity that gets overlooked. We just think, okay, you got to act tough and act strong, but your connection and how you identify with other men and with other black men as a black man, that plays into how masculine you'll feel about yourself. Because if you feel disconnected from every other black man out there, every other man out there, you're gonna start to question yourself and question how much of a man am I? You're gonna start to question your identity as a man, which is a bad thing because it should never lead to that point. The only reason it leads to that is purely because too many men don't show love and connection, and they don't really try to teach their sons, guide their sons. They just think, oh, my son gonna be a man because he's a male. No, you have to teach these things. And I think that it's not even the father-son thing either. It's about even when you start to connect with other men, but I think that it starts with that father-son connection. And I believe that that's something that has to be prioritized. And it's important that we don't neglect our emotions as black men. And obviously, I'm not sitting here saying go out there and cry in front of a girl and stuff. Never do that. Never show your emotions too much to a girl, because they don't. I'm not trying to correlate this to everything. I'm just saying be more vulnerable with other men, other black men who you can be in a safe space around, and y'all can talk about it. And this is why we have to come together, so we can come together in a setting, in an environment where we're all trying to improve. And then if you say something, or you're vulnerable, and you say something personal or whatever, and you're trying to figure stuff out and get better, you can be around other men who want to see you be strong, who want to see you be masculine, who want to see you be at the best and strongest version of yourself. So those things are very important, and I think that is one reason you have a lot of men who are very confident. They are very strong, are very sure of themselves, because they have a lot of other men around them who make them feel connected as a man. And I think that's something that's just so important. And on the other side, you also see dudes who they question themselves because no other man really accepts them or connect with them, right? And a good example of this is like, you can see a guy who hang around a lot of girls because he relates to a girl more, right? The guy who hangs around a lot of dudes, okay, he relates and feels more like a guy. You see a dude who hang around a lot of girls, he relates and feels more like a girl, even though he's not a girl, which is an indicator that he has an identity issue that comes from not having enough connection with other men. And that usually stems from him not having the proper connection, the proper emotional connection with his father, or with the father figure, or just with other men in general. So don't hurt yourself when it comes to your emotions. Make sure it helps you. And this is why it's our job as black men to step up and show love to our brothers, show love to the young boys, as far as guiding them, teaching them how to be men. Show respect to older men. We all need to have that connection with each other, especially in the black community. We have to get away from that individualistic mindset of, oh, it's just me and I don't care about nobody else, right? The problem is we keep killing each other. We keep hurting each other. We got to come together as black men. Stop shooting each other stop shooting each other in the gangs and everything like that. That's hurting us. We have to come together and show love to each other. And I think that's very important. I'm not saying show your emotions and be vulnerable around a girl. I would never do that. I don't think we should do that. That's what I'm against. But showing love to other men, that's going to make you more masculine. That's going to make you more masculine, because you're going to have that identity. Your identity as a man is going to be so grounded, you're never going to be able to question your identity. You're going to always feel like a man and be a man and act like a man. So that's pretty much all I got to say. Peace out.